So for supper tonight, I am making enchiladas. So I'm going to take you along on a step-by-step process on how I do that in a crock pot. By no means are these enchiladas any authentic Mexican dish. This is me taking a Mexican cuisine and using it in my kitchen. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take the half pork shoulder, or this is a pork loin, and we're going to put it in our crock pot on high. And then I'm going to take this salsa verde and I'm going to dump the whole jar in here. I'm going to let it cook in the salsa until it's basically all the way cooked through before I do anything else to it. So this has been cooking in the crock pot for about 4 hours on high. So I'm going to slice the pork like this to open it up so that it can cook a little faster, and I can shred it in about 2 hours for enchilada meat. I'm also going to add at this point chopped green chilies, and then in here I have about half a tablespoon of garlic powder, half a tablespoon of cumin, and half a tablespoon of chili powder. So we're going to dump that in. And I'm also going to add a little bit of onion. So I've cut the pork into slabs so that the entire piece of meat is submerged. If you do not like it as spicy, then I recommend cutting down on the amount of cumin and chili powder. I like mine a medium spicy level, and so that's why I did as much as I did. And now I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Mix it up and let it sit for another hour and a half. You're going to want to turn your crock pot setting from high to low. So it's been about 5.5 hours since I started this morning. I turned it down to warm, and I'm now going to shred the meat. As you can see, it's pretty much fallen into pieces already, but I'm going to shred it. I've shredded the meat, and at this point you can serve it as burritos, but I'm going to be making enchiladas tonight. So I'll be putting this in tortillas, rolling it up, and then putting cheese and salsa over top and baking it in the oven. So I'm filling my tortillas, and I'm going to roll them and then stick them in that Pyrex dish. Alright, so these tortillas have been filled with the burrito meat, and these are homemade tortillas. And if you go to my channel, I have a recipe for these tortillas. Now I'm going to put cheese and salsa over top and then stick it in the oven. So we'll put the enchiladas in the oven until the cheese has been melted. The only reason we're putting it in the oven is to melt the cheese. And I have the oven at 450. You can have it at 425, 350, however long it takes for the cheese to melt. Alright, our enchiladas are ready to come out of the oven. So you can see the cheese is starting to crisp up and it's sizzling. I like it when there's cheese crispies on the outside. You can serve your enchiladas with sour cream, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, green pepper, and I like to serve it with a side of Spanish rice. I would suggest greasing the bottom of your pan first so that you can avoid this problem right here. It is stuck. So the great thing about cooking up an entire pork loin and turning it into burrito meat is that you can either freeze it or use it throughout the week.